Alright, students, let's start Unit 3. These are all going to be problem solving, and the first topic is travel. So, problems involving travel usually talk about distance, how far, rate, which is also known as speed, and a unit of time, hours, minutes. So, there is a formula that relates them. It's D equals RT. It's called the DIRT formula. So D represents distance. R is the rate or speed, and we multiply that by the unit of time. So notice, it says watch for the units of time and speed. So if it's miles per hour, your time needs to be an hour. They need to be in the same format in order for your answer to be valid. So strategies for problem solving is to substitute known values. We're going to convert units if necessary. And you will lastly solve for the desired variable. So since there's 3 variables, you should be able to know or find 2 out of the 3. All right, so let's look at the first example. How long will it take you to travel 395 miles if your bus is going 60 miles per hour? So, talking about a distance formula. So we're going to read through the problem. We are traveling, so how long, that usually indicates time, is unknown. We want to travel 395 miles. That's a distance, so that means that D equals 395. If your bus is going 60 miles per hour, well, that's a speed, so that tells us our rate. So I know distance and rate, and I'm looking for time. So here's my equation. So notice we've got miles and miles, so we don't need to convert. Our answer is going to be in hours. So if I divide by 60, our time equals 395 divided by 60 is 6.583 repeating hours. Now, typically we round to 1 or 2 decimal places, just follow the directions. So I'm going to say 6.58 hours. Okay, let's look at example 2. It's got 3 parts. So George drives at 30 miles per hour. That's going to give us a rate. It takes him 4 hours, which is a time, to get to his destination. How far did he travel? Well, that's a distance. So distance equals rate times time. We're going to substitute what we know. I don't know distance. My rate is 30, and my time is 4. Notice this is in hours, and this is in hours, so no conversion needed. So I get D equals 120, and we look at our unit, we are in miles. So if he drives 20 miles per hour faster, how long will it take him to get there? So I still have distance equals rate times time. I want to know how long, so we're going to look for T. I'm going to go 20 miles an hour faster. So he was originally going 30 miles, so 30 plus 20 is now 50 for my rate. And the distance is going to be the same to get there. So our distance is 120 miles. So if we divide by 50, we get 120 divided by 50. It's going to take him 2.4 hours. So, how much less time did it take George to travel to his destination? So, if he did it in 2.4 hours when he went faster, and originally he went 4 hours, we want to subtract. So we get 1.6 hours. That's how much less it took him. All right, let's look at Bill and Laura. So Bill and Laura each drive a car from their old house to their new house. Bill drives 50 miles an hour and he gets there in 1 hour and 15 minutes. How far away is their new house? So how far away? That's a distance. So D equals R times T. I don't know the distance. So his rate is 50 miles per hour. And my time, I've got 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I need to convert that all to hours. So it's 15 minutes out of 60 total. So we've got 1 and 15 over 60. And if you change that to a decimal, you would get 1.25 hours. So that's our time. It does all have to be in hours. So our distance is 50 times 1.25 gives us 62.5, and we are in miles. That's how far his house is. So if Laura drives the same distance, so her distance is going to be 62.5 at 60 miles per hour, so that's her rate. How much quicker will she get there? So we need to find her time and then compare it. So distance equals rate times time. We know our distance, we know our rate, and we need to find Laura's time. So divide by 60. So it took her 1.04, I'm rounding, hours. So how much quicker we need to compare. So we're going to take Bill is 1.25 hours, and we're going to take off the 1.04 hours, and she got there in 0.21 hours faster. Now, if you want to know how many minutes that is, you're going to take 0.21 times their 60 minutes in an hour, which is 12.6 minutes faster. Really just depends on what the answer choices are and how comfortable you feel, but either one, 0.21 hours or 12.6 minutes. That's why we use labels.